Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via, and I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder in the state of Virginia in Red Onion State Prison in the USA. Today, I'm going to discuss lockdown because I just came off of a lockdown for an idiot getting drunk in the pod and, well, acting like an idiot, and they got locked up and we all went on lockdown and got shook down. Y'all have heard me mention lockdown numerous times throughout listening to all of my episodes. Today I'm going to go into a full explanation of what it is. Lockdown is when a pod is locked down or the entire prison compound is locked down, or it could just be a building is locked down. And you can get on lockdown for any numerous reasons. The major one is when they lock the whole compound down to do a shakedown. And normally that lockdown will last 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how fast the COs move, and the COs rarely ever move fast. Because, hey, it's less work for them to do. So the shakedown, which is, we also call lockdown the same thing as a shakedown, because 9 times out of 10 when you go on lockdown, you're going to get shook down. You can go on lockdown for a fight. You can go on lockdown for a stabbing. You can go on lockdown for someone getting drunk. You can go on lockdown for someone running up a gambling debt, getting scared, and they ride a kite to the unit manager or whatnot, and they tell him, hey, look, man, dude's in here making knives, man. They're going to stab me. Oh, I'm scared for my life. So they'll come move that person out, and they'll lock everybody else down and then go through the cells and shake us down looking for knives that don't exist because this dumbass gambled or went to the store box until he couldn't pay his debt off, and he has to check in because he's scared. Can't take the consequences. But when you're on lockdown, that means you do not leave your cell. The only time you can leave your cell is if the staff members, like the building lieutenant, unit managers, investigators, so on and so forth, or you go to medical, or you have a video visitation, or, a legal visitation or something of that nature. Go to the dentist and whatnot. And when you do leave, when your pod is on lockdown, you don't get to just come out the cell and walk around willy-nilly. The COs are at the door. There's usually 2 to 3 officers, and they shackle you and they handcuff you behind your back. They escort you to where you're going. You do what you're going to do there, and then they escort you back to the cell. Other than that, you don't leave the cell. You don't walk to chow hall. You don't get the phone. You don't get to visit the kiosk. You have no communication whatsoever during that period of lockdown, except through written mail. You're locked in that cell 24/7, whether you have a cellie or you don't have a cellie. They don't particularly care. You just simply have to deal with it and pray to God you have a good cellie, or get to fighting with them. Those are basically your 2 choices. Which is why I thank God on a regular basis I'm on single cell status. But when you're in that cell, it's solitary confinement all over again. Like I said, I just went through a 2-day lockdown, and it brought all those feelings of solitary back all over again. I had to deal with that because, I done got used to being out in the cell. I done got used to being able to walk around and grab the phone when I want to use it, or get on the kiosk when I want to use it, as long as nobody else is using it, taking showers every day, being able to work out in the cell and everything, and not have to worry about taking a bath in the sink and not quite get just clean enough. And just you get trapped in that cell. I've talked about that time and time again. It's like being buried alive in there. And everyone deals with it. You have no choice. Just some people deal with it better than others. Some people can't deal with it at all. Some people, as soon as they find out they're on lockdown, they ride the door. And what ride the door mean is you stay in that window of the door looking out in the pod. You don't leave that door, because you can't. It's like being claustrophobic in the cell. TV doesn't hold the same appeal to you. Music, video games, none of that holds the same appeal to you. It eats at you being in that cell. And then you got to wait for them to come over to the cell to tear your stuff up. And you know how you see in movies and television when they go in a prison, go in a cell, and they just start just grabbing stuff and throwing it in the middle of the floor, walking all over it, ripping up magazines, ripping open books and commissary. I've had that happen. There was this dude. He was the big dude. This guy, he turned into a snitch. He used to have a lot of respect. Now he's snitching on everything. I mean, man stays in the lieutenant's office more than the lieutenant does. And he tells on everybody for everything. He's even started just making stuff up. And he did it because he was trying to get a TV, because he didn't have the money to buy a new television. He's old. He doesn't have family anymore. He has no one to really support him, and he's addicted to food. So what little bit of money he does get, he's not capable of saving it up. He eats it. Like, he'll buy $40 worth of commissary, and that would last me easily 2-3 weeks. He'll eat it within 3 or 4 days, and that's like good for him. That's like him actually being disciplined, because normally he'd eat it in 1 day, especially depending on what he buys. So he started snitching. And he started telling them, man, we had these knives and we were plotting escapes and we were trying to get out the cell to kill COs. Like, we were freaking doing everything in there, and the only thing anybody was doing was just chilling, laid back, just doing their time, hoping we could get out. So they actually came at 5:30 in the morning before anybody was awake. And they had enough COs to be at everybody's door with the officer looking in at you, and they all coordinated their knocks to wake us up at one time. And, we had to get up and go to the door, nothing but our underwear, turn around, cuff up. Then they had to kneel on the floor, shackle up. Then they took us down individually to the showers where they made everybody strip down, lift your penis, lift your balls, lift your feet, run your fingers through your hair, open your mouth up, run your tongue around your gum line, and then turn around, bend over, and spread your ass cheeks. Make sure you didn't have anything keistered. Which always makes me want to fight when they ask that, because normally I buck on that. But you could just tell that morning, anybody would have bucked on that, they would have beat the living hell out of them. Like, they was not playing. Like, that's how bad this dude Webb went in and snitched on everybody in the pod and just made stuff up. So afterwards, they had us locked in showers. They had us locked in some empty cells. They had guys locked at the tables in the secure chairs where you see in the documentary where we're rolling sporks. They actually had guys, I believe, out on the rec cages, locked up in the rec cages 5:30 in the morning in their underwear. And then the COs just went through every cell, and they tore it to hell and gone. And I actually, this is when we still had jars of peanut butter. And, one of the things I liked to buy back then when we had the jars of peanut butter was a box of saltine crackers, jar of peanut butter. It's a nice little snack, or it can make a meal if you eat enough of them, and it was relatively cheap, and it lasted. So that was, one thing I did try to buy. And I had a half open jar, and I had a brand new jar. And the COs that went in took the few soups that I had and crushed them all up, the ramen noodles, just crushed them all up. Bags were half torn open. they took my crackers out of the saltine box, and they literally just took them in their hands and just crushed the crackers into powder, just broke in chunks. Like there wasn't a single cracker that you could put anything on. The jar that was half open, they squirted toothpaste down in that and stuck their finger down in it and swirled it around. They opened up the brand new jar, and you can see where they just stuck 3 fingers down in it and kind of twisted and spit in it. I mean, they tore my stuff up. They ripped up paperwork. They ripped up legal work. They ripped up books. They had my Bible thrown open, stomped on it. I mean, they tore the cell to hell and gone. That's not all the time the shakedown is that bad. That was one of the worst ones I've been through, where the COs just come in and just tear your stuff up. And, you know, I actually remember Warden Randall Via at the time. This is before he got promoted to headquarters in Richmond. He actually made rounds, and I hadn't touched my stuff. I hadn't packed up. I hadn't cleaned up. I hadn't done nothing. I'd been waiting for somebody to come around. And I told him, I was like, look, dude, man, look in this cell. And he looked in the cell, and I showed him all this stuff. And I sat there and told him. And I held up a picture of my grandfather. And I was like, man, this is the only picture of my grandfather I have. That's it. I only have one picture of my grandfather, and I have no other way of getting another picture of him. Dude, if they would have ripped this picture up, I'm telling you right now, I would have come out this cell, and because you can't keep me in shackles, you can't keep me in cuffs, you can't put me in 5-point restraints. I get out that stuff. You know this. I've shown y'all time and time again. Y'all can't keep me restrained. You can't stop me. And he was like, man, dude, I don't blame you. He said, man, don't worry about it. He said, you're never going to see these officers over here again. And as a matter of fact, I've never seen those officers on this compound again. I actually think that he went and fired both of them.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Look, y'all got to transfer to another prison, because I've never once seen either one of them since that incident. But that's what shakedown is. You know, that's what a lockdown is. You know, I know people probably want me to, hey, how do you have that stuff? Yeah, I'm not going to tell y'all that, because I know for a fact that officers listen to me, and I can't give away state secrets. So sorry about that, folks. This has been Red Onion Randy. For those of you who listen to me on Apple Podcast, I would truly appreciate it if you would review me and rate me, preferably 5 stars, but I'll take what you can give me. Don't forget to check out my website, redonionrandy.com. Take care. Stay safe. Try not to come to prison. It sucks in here.
Thank you for using GTL.
Before I go, I do want to make a public service announcement, I guess. Unfortunately, on the very first day of lockdown, the battery on my JP5 player died. So for those of you who email me and write to me, I apologize. I will do what I can to type quick emails to you on the kiosk when I have time. You know, because there's a lot of guys in the pod, and they use the kiosk too, so I can't sit there for 20 minutes every kiosk session to type up long emails. I can only type short emails. I will continue to stay in touch. You can still continue to write me, and I'm in the process of ordering a new tablet. Hopefully I have it soon. I apologize for the inconvenience, but I do want to let y'all know. And for the new people who want to write me, just, you know, you can go ahead and sign up and write me. Just be a little bit patient with me. Hopefully I'll have it within 30 days, a new tablet. So I just wanted to let y'all know that I'm not ignoring you. I haven't quit writing. I'm just in circumstances where I cannot replace my tablet like that. I have to go through the hassle of sending JPay emails and then transferring money over to my JPay media account so I can buy it, which I've already done. I'm just waiting for it to get approved first. And then I got to wait for them to cut the money and send me my new player and property to bring it to me. Again, sorry for the inconvenience.